What if everything the world told you about beauty was incomplete? What if the qualities that make a woman unforgettable have nothing to do with flawless skin, perfect features, or expensive clothes? Think about the women who leave a lasting impression. Years later, people don't remember the color of their lipstick or the brand of their handbag. They remember how they made others feel. True beauty isn't something you wear, it's something you become. Today, we're going to uncover the real signs of a truly lovely woman, the qualities that time cannot erase, and trends can never replace. Confidence is often misunderstood. Many people believe it comes from constant praise, admiration, or the approval of others. They assume that if enough people compliment you, follow you, or tell you that you're beautiful, you'll finally feel valuable. But the truth is exactly the opposite. The women who leave the deepest impression on the world are rarely the ones who spend their lives chasing validation. They are the ones who have already discovered something much more powerful. Their worth is not determined by someone else's opinion. Think about it for a moment. If your confidence depends on other people, then those same people have the power to take it away. One compliment can make you feel amazing, while one criticism can ruin your entire day. That isn't confidence. That's dependence. Real confidence is stable because it comes from within. It remains steady whether people applaud you or ignore you, whether they agree with your choices or question them. A truly lovely woman understands this principle. She appreciates encouragement, but she doesn't rely on it. She enjoys being recognized, but she doesn't need recognition to know who she is. She has taken the time to build an identity based on her values, her character, and her purpose, rather than the constantly changing opinions of the world. The modern world encourages comparison more than ever before. Every day, people scroll through carefully edited photos, highlight reels, and stories that present only the best moments of someone else's life. It becomes easy to believe that everyone else is happier, more successful, or more attractive. Comparison quietly whispers that you are not enough. But comparison is a game that no one ever truly wins because there will always be someone who appears to have more. A lovely woman refuses to participate in that endless competition. She understands that her journey is unique. Instead of asking, "Am I better than someone else?" she asks a far more meaningful question. Am I becoming a better version of myself? That single shift changes everything. Growth replaces jealousy. Gratitude replaces insecurity. Progress replaces perfection. Knowing your worth also means setting healthy boundaries. Many people fear saying no because they worry about disappointing others. They sacrifice their peace to keep everyone else comfortable. But a woman who values herself understands that boundaries are not walls that push people away. They are doors that decide what deserves to enter her life. She knows that protecting her time, energy, and emotional well-being is not selfish. It is necessary. This doesn't mean she becomes cold or distant. In fact, quite the opposite. Because she respects herself, she is able to respect others more deeply. She gives freely without feeling used. She loves generously without losing herself. She helps people without believing her entire identity depends on fixing everyone around her. There is also a quiet strength in refusing to explain yourself to everyone. Not every decision requires public approval. Not every dream needs validation before it begins. A lovely woman understands that people will always have opinions. Some will support her. Others will misunderstand her. She cannot control either response. What she can control is whether she remains faithful to the values that guide her life. History is filled with people who changed the world despite criticism. If they had waited until everyone approved of them, they would have accomplished nothing. Growth often requires the courage to walk alone before others understand where you're going. Another sign of genuine self-worth is humility. Confidence and humility are not opposites. They actually strengthen each other. Someone who truly knows her value doesn't feel the need to prove she is the smartest person in every room. She can celebrate another woman's success without feeling threatened because she understands that someone else's light does not diminish her own. She knows there is enough opportunity, enough success, and enough purpose for everyone. This kind of confidence creates peace. It frees her from constantly performing for acceptance. She no longer changes her personality to fit every group. She no longer hides her opinions out of fear of rejection. She becomes authentic because authenticity is less exhausting than pretending to be someone she isn't. The most inspiring women often possess this quiet confidence. They don't need to announce their value because their actions reveal it. They show integrity when no one is watching. They keep promises they make to themselves. They continue growing even when no one applauds their progress. Their confidence isn't loud, it's consistent. Every challenge they overcome reinforces their belief in themselves. Every difficult decision strengthens their character. Every setback teaches resilience instead of insecurity. Over time, they realize that their greatest source of confidence isn't external success, but the knowledge that they can face whatever life brings with courage and integrity. In the end, the real sign of a lovely woman is not that everyone admires her. It is that she has learned to see her own value without needing constant reassurance from the outside world. When a woman knows her worth, she walks differently, speaks differently, and lives differently. She stops chasing approval because she has discovered something far more valuable. The quiet confidence that comes from knowing exactly who she is and refusing to let the opinions of others define her. That kind of confidence never goes out of style, never fades with age, and never depends on appearances. It becomes the foundation for a life of purpose, dignity, and lasting influence. Kindness is often underestimated in today's world. It doesn't always make headlines, it rarely goes viral. It isn't usually celebrated as loudly as beauty, wealth, or success. Yet when you think about the people who have had the greatest impact on your life, chances are it wasn't their appearance that changed you. It was the way they treated you. It was their patience when you were struggling, their encouragement when you doubted yourself, or their compassion when you felt alone. That is the quiet power of kindness. It leaves marks on hearts that time cannot erase. A truly lovely woman understands that beauty may attract attention, but kindness earns respect. She knows that physical appearance can create a first impression, but character determines the lasting one. Long after people forget the color of her eyes or the style of her clothes, they will remember how safe, valued, and understood they felt in her presence. Kindness is not about trying to please everyone. It is not about avoiding difficult conversations or allowing people to take advantage of you. Real kindness is rooted in strength, not weakness. It means choosing compassion, even when it would be easier to respond with anger. It means treating people with dignity, even when they fail to do the same for you. That kind of kindness requires courage because it demands self-control. Think about how easy it is to criticize. Anyone can point out flaws. Anyone can complain, gossip, or judge. Those actions require very little effort, but building someone up requires intention. Encouraging another person takes wisdom. Offering hope when someone feels discouraged takes emotional maturity. This is why kindness is one of the greatest signs of inner beauty. It reveals a heart that is secure enough to lift others instead of competing with them. A lovely woman does not see life as a competition where someone else's success threatens her own. She celebrates the achievements of others without feeling diminished. She understands that another person's victory does not take away from her opportunities. Because she is confident in her own journey, she can genuinely applaud someone else's progress. This ability to rejoice with others is rare, and it makes her presence refreshing in a world filled with comparison. Kindness also shows itself in the smallest moments. It is found in the way she greets people, listens without interrupting, and gives her full attention during a conversation. In an age where everyone seems distracted, offering someone your complete attention has become one of the greatest acts of respect. When people feel heard, they feel valued. A lovely woman understands this, so she listens not just to reply, but to truly understand. She also knows that words have incredible power. A few thoughtful sentences can restore someone's confidence, while careless words can wound someone for years. Because of this, she chooses her words carefully. She does not use speech to humiliate, manipulate, or tear others down. Instead, she speaks truth with grace. Even when she must correct someone or disagree with them, she does so respectfully. Her words become a source of healing rather than harm. Another remarkable quality of kindness is forgiveness. Every person experiences disappointment. Every relationship faces misunderstandings. Holding on to bitterness may seem justified, but it slowly poisons the one carrying it. A lovely woman understands that forgiveness is not pretending nothing happened. It is choosing not to let resentment control her future. She learns from painful experiences, sets healthy boundaries when necessary, and moves forward without allowing anger to define her life. This doesn't mean she tolerates abuse or unhealthy behavior. Kindness and wisdom always work together. She knows when to walk away from relationships that consistently destroy her peace. She understands that saying no can sometimes be the kindest decision for both herself and the other person. Healthy kindness never sacrifices truth or self-respect. Kindness also appears in how she treats those who cannot offer her anything in return. It is easy to be polite to people who are powerful, influential, or beneficial to us. But character is revealed in how we treat the waiter, the cleaner, the stranger, or the person who has nothing to give us. A lovely woman shows the same respect regardless of someone's status. She recognizes the value of every human being and refuses to measure people by their position, appearance, or success. Perhaps one of the greatest expressions of kindness is choosing empathy over assumption. Instead of immediately judging someone's behavior, she pauses to consider what they might be going through. She realizes that everyone is fighting battles that cannot always be seen. A harsh response may hide deep pain. A quiet person may be carrying heavy burdens. An angry person may be struggling with fear. This perspective allows her to respond with compassion instead of quick judgment. The beautiful thing about kindness is that it multiplies. One encouraging conversation can change someone's entire day. One act of generosity can inspire another. One moment of patience can restore hope. We often underestimate how much influence we have simply by treating people well. A lovely woman understands that her daily choices create ripples that extend far beyond what she can see. In the end, physical beauty changes with time. Fashion trends come and go. Youth eventually fades. But kindness grows more beautiful with every passing year. It becomes part of a person's reputation, their legacy, and the way they are remembered. People may forget many things about a woman's appearance, but they rarely forget how she made them feel. That is why kindness is one of the truest signs of a lovely woman. It reflects a heart that is secure, compassionate, humble, and strong, a beauty that no mirror can measure and no passage of time can ever take away. Many people spend their lives chasing perfection. They believe that if they can just eliminate every flaw, avoid every mistake, and present the perfect image to the world, then they will finally feel successful. But perfection is an illusion. The closer you think you are to reaching it, the further it seems to move away. A truly lovely woman understands this. She doesn't build her life around the impossible goal of being perfect. Instead, she builds it around something much more meaningful. Purpose. Purpose gives direction to every decision. It answers one of the most important questions anyone can ask. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Without purpose, life becomes a series of reactions. You follow trends because everyone else is following them. You chase approval because you don't know what truly matters to you. You compare yourself to others because you haven't defined your own destination. But when a woman discovers her purpose, everything begins to change. She no longer allows the opinions of strangers to determine the course of her life because she already knows where she is going. Think about a ship sailing across the ocean. Storms will come, winds will change, waves will rise. But if the captain knows the destination, the ship continues moving forward despite difficult conditions. Purpose works the same way. It doesn't remove obstacles, but it gives you the strength to move through them. A lovely woman understands that difficult seasons are not signs that she should give up. They are often the very experiences that shape her character and prepare her for greater opportunities. Living with purpose also means accepting that mistakes are part of growth. So many people are afraid to fail that they never begin. They wait until they feel completely ready, completely confident, and completely certain. But growth rarely happens inside the comfort of certainty. It happens when you're willing to take a step, even though you don't have every answer. A woman who lives with purpose isn't ashamed of her failures. She studies them. She asks, what can this experience teach me? Every setback becomes a lesson rather than a label. Instead of saying, I failed, therefore I am a failure, she says, I failed, therefore I learned something valuable. That simple difference in thinking allows her to keep moving forward while others remain trapped by fear. Purpose also protects her from comparison. One of the greatest distractions in life is constantly measuring your progress against someone else's. You see another person's achievements and begin questioning your own journey. You wonder why they seem further ahead or more successful. But purpose reminds you that every person is walking a different path. You cannot compare two people who have different callings, different experiences, and different timelines. Imagine planting two different trees. One may grow quickly and reach impressive heights within a few years. Another may grow slowly, developing deep roots before its branches ever become visible. If you judge them only by speed, you might assume one was failing. But nature teaches us that every living thing grows according to its own design. People are no different. A lovely woman doesn't rush her journey simply because someone else appears to be moving faster. She understands that lasting growth often takes time. Living with purpose also changes the way she defines success. Society often measures success by money, popularity, appearance, or status. While these things may have value, they are temporary. A purposeful woman asks a deeper question: am I becoming the person I was created to be? She knows that external success means very little if it comes at the cost of integrity, peace, or meaningful relationships. This perspective gives her remarkable freedom. She doesn't feel pressured to impress everyone because she isn't living for applause. She works hard because excellence is part of her character, not because she needs constant recognition. She serves others because she believes her life has meaning beyond herself. Her motivation comes from within rather than from the changing expectations of the world. Purpose also helps her make difficult decisions. Every person faces moments when they must choose between what is easy and what is right. The easy path often promises immediate comfort, while the right path requires sacrifice. Without purpose, those choices become confusing. But when a woman knows her values and understands her mission, decisions become clearer. She is willing to endure temporary discomfort because she refuses to compromise the future she is building. Another beautiful quality of purposeful living is consistency. Motivation comes and goes. Feelings change from one day to the next. There will be mornings when energy is low and confidence feels distant. But purpose remains. It reminds her why she started. It encourages her to keep showing up even when progress seems slow. Over time, this consistency produces results that occasional bursts of motivation never could. People are naturally drawn to individuals who live with purpose because purpose creates authenticity. There is something refreshing about meeting someone who isn't pretending to be someone else. A lovely woman doesn't constantly adjust her personality to gain acceptance. She remains true to her values because she knows that living authentically is far more rewarding than living to satisfy other people's expectations. Purpose also transforms ordinary moments into meaningful ones. She doesn't believe that significance is found only in grand achievements. She understands that encouraging one person, helping a friend, showing kindness to a stranger, or faithfully completing everyday responsibilities are all expressions of a meaningful life. Great lives are often built through small acts repeated consistently over many years. Most importantly, purpose allows her to grow without becoming obsessed with perfection. She celebrates progress instead of demanding flawlessness. She accepts that she is still learning, still developing, and still becoming. Every day offers another opportunity to become wiser, stronger, and more compassionate than she was yesterday. In the end, what makes a woman truly lovely is not that she has a perfect life or a flawless image. It is that she lives with intention. She understands that perfection is an impossible destination, but purpose is a lifelong journey. And because she chooses purpose over perfection, she inspires others to stop hiding behind impossible standards and start living lives filled with courage, meaning, growth, and authenticity. That kind of beauty reaches far beyond appearance. It shapes lives, strengthens communities, and leaves a legacy that continues long after the moment has passed. Life has a way of testing every person. No one is exempt from disappointment, heartbreak, rejection, uncertainty, or loss. These experiences do not ask whether you are strong enough or prepared enough. They simply arrive. The real difference between people is not whether they face adversity, but how they respond when it comes. A truly lovely woman understands that emotional strength is not the absence of pain. It is the ability to walk through pain without allowing it to define who she becomes. Many people mistakenly believe that strength means never crying, never feeling afraid, or never admitting weakness. But real emotional strength looks very different. It is the courage to acknowledge your emotions without allowing them to control your decisions. It is being honest about your struggles while refusing to surrender to hopelessness. A lovely woman understands that pretending to be strong is exhausting, but becoming strong is transformative. Imagine a tree standing through every season. During spring, it blossoms beautifully. During summer, it grows steadily. In autumn, it lets go of its leaves. During winter, it appears lifeless. Yet deep beneath the surface, its roots continue growing stronger. Human life follows a similar pattern. There are seasons of joy and seasons of hardship. A woman with emotional strength does not panic when winter arrives because she knows that difficult seasons are temporary. She trusts that growth is still happening, even when it cannot yet be seen. One of the greatest signs of emotional maturity is the ability to remain calm during chaos. In stressful situations, many people react impulsively. They speak words they later regret, make decisions based on anger, or allow fear to dictate their actions. A lovely woman chooses a different path. She understands that while she cannot always control what happens around her, she can control how she responds. That pause between emotion and action becomes one of her greatest strengths. This calmness should never be mistaken for indifference. She feels deeply. She experiences disappointment, sadness, frustration, and fear just like everyone else. The difference is that she refuses to become a prisoner of those emotions. She gives herself permission to feel, but she also reminds herself that feelings are temporary. They are important signals, but they are not reliable leaders. Wisdom comes from listening to emotions without allowing them to take control of the steering wheel. Emotional strength also means accepting responsibility for your own healing. Every person experiences wounds caused by others. Some are the result of betrayal. Others come from rejection, criticism, or broken relationships. While we cannot always choose what happens to us, we can choose what happens within us afterward. A lovely woman refuses to let bitterness become her identity. She understands that holding on to resentment gives the past power over the present. Instead, she chooses the difficult but freeing path of healing. Healing is rarely quick. It often requires patience, reflection, and courage. There are days when progress feels invisible. There are moments when old memories return unexpectedly. Yet, emotional strength reminds her that healing is not about forgetting what happened. It is about refusing to let those experiences determine the rest of her life. She learns from the pain without allowing the pain to define her. Another mark of emotional resilience is adaptability. Life rarely unfolds according to our carefully designed plans. Careers change, relationships evolve, dreams sometimes take unexpected turns. People who rely only on certainty often become discouraged when life changes direction. A lovely woman understands that flexibility is a strength, not a weakness. She adjusts her plans without abandoning her purpose. She understands that detours are often part of the journey towards something greater. Emotionally strong women also know the importance of asking for help. Society sometimes teaches that independence means handling everything alone. But wisdom recognizes that every person needs support. Seeking advice, accepting encouragement, or leaning on trusted friends does not make someone weak. It demonstrates humility and self-awareness. A lovely woman surrounds herself with people who challenge her to grow, speak truth with love, and remind her of her strength during moments when she struggles to see it herself. One quality that often accompanies emotional strength is patience. We live in a world that demands immediate answers and instant results. But some of life's greatest transformations cannot be rushed. Character develops slowly. Trust is built over time. Healing requires patience. A lovely woman learns to trust the process, understanding that lasting growth is rarely instant. Instead of becoming frustrated by slow progress, she remains faithful to the small daily choices that eventually produce extraordinary change. Emotional strength also shapes the way she treats others. Because she has experienced pain herself, she becomes more compassionate toward people who are struggling. Rather than judging someone's weakness, she offers understanding. She realizes that every person carries invisible burdens, and this awareness makes her more patient, more gracious, and more willing to extend kindness. Her strength does not make her hard, it makes her gentle. Perhaps the greatest evidence of emotional resilience is hope. Hope is not blind optimism that ignores reality. It is the quiet confidence that tomorrow can be better than today. It is believing that setbacks are not permanent and that every challenge carries the possibility of growth. A lovely woman protects this hope because she knows it fuels perseverance. Even when circumstances are difficult, she continues taking one faithful step after another. People are naturally drawn to this kind of strength because it creates a sense of stability. In a world filled with constant noise, emotional resilience becomes a calming presence. Others feel safe around someone who remains steady during uncertainty, who responds with wisdom instead of panic, and who brings peace rather than conflict. This quiet confidence cannot be purchased, imitated, or created overnight. It is forged through experience, strengthened through perseverance, and refined through every challenge life presents. In the end, what makes a woman truly unforgettable is not that she has avoided hardship, but that hardship has refined rather than hardened her. She has learned to face disappointment with courage, uncertainty with faith, and pain with grace. She understands that true strength is not found in pretending to be invincible, but in remaining compassionate, hopeful, and resilient through every season of life. That emotional strength becomes one of the most beautiful qualities she possesses, because while physical beauty may fade with time, a resilient spirit only grows more inspiring with every challenge it overcomes. In a world where so many people are trying to be noticed, one of the rarest and most beautiful qualities is the ability to make others feel seen. Many conversations today are filled with distractions. People often listen only long enough to prepare their own response. They wait for their turn to speak instead of truly understanding the person in front of them. Yet a truly lovely woman does something different. She gives people one of the greatest gifts anyone can offer: her genuine attention. There is something incredibly powerful about making another human being feel valued. It doesn't require extraordinary talent, wealth, or influence. It simply requires presence. When someone feels that they matter, they leave the conversation lighter than when they entered it. They feel respected, understood, and appreciated. Long after they forget the exact words that were spoken, they remember how they felt in that moment. That is the lasting impact of genuine connection. A lovely woman understands that every person has a story. Every smile may hide a struggle. Every confident appearance may conceal private fears. Every cheerful conversation may cover silent battles that no one else can see. Because she recognizes this, she approaches people with curiosity instead of judgment. Rather than making assumptions, she asks thoughtful questions. Rather than interrupting,